The Kita's kind of like the Toyota of drills. Reliable, not the best, it's not top of the line. An air compressor. It's just all about how you carry stuff. It has 5-day ice retention. Who's role model?
Autism. What's wrong with that? I'm passionate about stuff. I don't wish you would do anything. I can't control you.
What's happening? There's a ceasefire in Gaza right now, folks. Have you heard about this? I heard a lot of people are upset, and I heard that Meghan McCain wants a two-state solution. Yeah. Dua Lipa actually severed ties with her manager over his support for Israel and his censoring of the band Kneecap. Yeah, she severed ties with him, and I kind of wish that she would sever my head off with a sword and then piss on me. All right, and we're back. I want to thank the Catholic Church for baptizing my son this weekend. We had Leo's baptism this weekend. It was very, very nice. Hey, hanging out with family, it's the best thing in the world. I really liked it. We had a little bit of a stressful morning. It was raining outside, and my mother-in-law showed up. My mother-in-law came with, I hate to say it, folks, but my mother-in-law came with a little bit of her bullshit, okay? She came with a little bit of her bullshit. She brought some of her bullshit into my house, and I had to, I don't want to say set her straight. I don't want to say stand up to her. But I am reading The Power Broker right now, and one thing that they say in the book is that Robert Moses was a natural bully. He bullied people out of instinct because he could, because he got away with it. And I think as much as I like my mother-in-law and enjoy her company for sure, I definitely enjoy her company. I do think someone needs to sort of. I think maybe she needs like a shock collar a little bit. She needs a little shock collar around her neck. And somebody's got to push the button and not be afraid, you know? Somebody's got to get her.
So she was Robert Moses.
She was Robert Moses.
You had to stand up.
She was Robert Moses. She comes into my house.
Hasan Piker.
I was Hasan Piker.
The internet has been dominated by the conspiracy theory that Twitch streamer Hasan Piker abused his dog using a shock collar.
Everyone right now is up in arms thinking that Hasan shocked his dog.
You could see him reach over, hits the thing. Did he just use a shock collar on stream?
He zaps the poor little dog for getting up.
And that's the Democrats' new model for liberal male masculinity.
But we got to stop building people up to these, you know? I think Hasan's a little too much on a pedestal. And I could not live with that kind of pressure. You know what I mean? People know a lot about me, and people know my shortcomings and my idiosyncrasies. And that's kind of like the nice thing about doing comedy, where you can be honest about all that stuff. But to have to sort of maintain this image where you're like a thought leader, I don't think I could do it. If I was Hasan, I would be like, listen, I fart a lot. I enjoy abusing animals. I would just say, listen, I want you to know this about me. That's the beautiful thing about comedy is you can tell people exactly who you are. And if you're not hurting other people, it's like, it's okay. So if I was Hasan Piker, I would say, yes, I like to abuse dogs, and I'm actually not, these muscles are like, I'm wearing a muscle suit. If you put a pin in my bicep, the whole thing would collapse, and I would be a little like sickly kid. I'm actually 5'6", and I weigh 110 pounds, and
I'm speaking into a voice modulator,
and I don't know, it's just too much, and I understand that impulse to be like, haha, we got him, you know. But then people are saying, oh, look at this picture of Hitler and his dog. Look how well they're getting along. And look at Hasan Piker with his shock collar. Are shock collars bad? Is that abuse?
I mean, would you like to be shocked?
I guess not, but I mean, I guess I would if it's like late at night. I have a lot of snacks in my fridge right now because, like I said, my mother-in-law came up from Jersey. Very grateful that she did that. very grateful that she came up and brought a bunch of food, but she brings way too much food when she comes, and it's all a little bit like it's like kind of white trash. And she brings, not that she doesn't bring good stuff, but she brings, you know, Turkey Hill ice cream. She brought lemon Oreos one time, and I ate the whole package. Oh, she brings all the stuff that like can't be in the house. And if it is going to be in the house, I need a shock collar. Right. So I guess to answer your question, maybe I should be Hasan Piker's dog if the position is open.
There's this app called Overlord. It disciplines you. You tell it what you want to do. Like, oh, I need to walk this amount. I need to not text this person. I need to go to the gym, whatever. And you give it access to all your data, and it could punish you for doing things that you set up.
Okay.
And one of the punishments is it takes money out of your bank account.
And goes where?
It goes to them. It goes to nowhere. It gets taken away from you. But you would set it up. Like, if you're like, look, if I eat lemon Oreos, take $20 out of my bank account.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
that's
like,
not
if I don't go to the gym every day.
Yeah, I guess. I just don't want like some guys in India stealing my money. Guys, good news. Mike's being fat again. Okay, guess who just got a bonus? Everyone in the call center. Everybody in the call center is like, oh, we're going to get ice cream tonight because Mike's eating ice cream. Oh, looks like ice cream. Oh, looks like ice cream for everyone tonight. Here in India. They all just start celebrating like the Wolf of Wall Street. They're all just like cheering because I ate cookies and cream. Anyway, Robert Moses was a natural bully, okay? So my mother-in-law shows up, and she comes into my house at 9 a.m. when everybody's aware of what the day looks like, okay? I woke up at like 7:30 in the morning, and I start cleaning the house. I clean my bathroom, I clean my kitchen. So I'm up and I'm doing stuff. So she comes in my house at 9 o'clock, and she goes, what's going on with you? Where are you? Why are you not dressed? And I had to, and I walked down the stairs a couple times, thinking about it, thinking about what I was going to say, thinking of all the scenarios that were going through my mind. For example, shut your mouth. That was one of them.
That's a strong one.
But you can't lose your cool, you know? You don't want to lose your cool. So finally I looked at her and I said, you're in my house. And that felt good. I said, hey, you're in my house. And she was like, well, okay, I know, but you know, and then I think I like to think that
okay, so you got her off kilt.
I like to think that I won her over. She was like, no one's ever stood up to me like that. So that was good. So then I went to church, and I had a very weird thing happen to me in the church. We went to Catholic Mass, and I think I liked it. I think I enjoyed being in the house of God, listening to the priest talk. And I didn't like this priest right away. He came in, and he was very he was a little bit handsy with me. He was a little bit like rubby on my arm. Yeah. Which, I mean, you know what that means. They're all gay men. Which is fine. Get your, you know. I'm not gonna like call the Pope or anything and report him. But then he got up. He was an older guy, and he gets up on stage and he starts talking about how Hollywood is demonic. I said, yep, that's true. He starts talking about how he saw somebody made him see The Exorcist years ago.
He's saying all this on stage?
Yeah.
Like for your whole friends and family?
For the whole family, yeah. He goes, someone told me to see The Exorcist years ago, and I said, I have to turn this off. This is such a stupid movie. And I was like, yeah. That's right. I'm like, you should read Make Believe Media by Michael Parenti, because that's what Hollywood wants to do. They want to bring you away from God. And I'm not going to sit up here on my soapbox also and be like, oh, Hollywood is demonic, because we all love Hollywood and the things they make, and we all love movies. And I guess the one thing I am upset about is that I never got the chance to participate in I never like got to really like reject the evil stuff. I never got like any offers to be evil, and it's not like I ever said no, you know. I wish I just had a couple offers And I said, yeah, you should read Make Believe Media by Michael Parenti. Because you're right, because movies want to get us away from God. And I didn't think this was going to happen, but I actually kind of enjoyed going to Catholic Mass. I said, oh, what's that about? Because I was like raised Catholic, and I never liked being at church. I always thought it was very boring, very kind of like oppressive, you know? Kind of like, hey, we're here on stage. The idea of religion, and this is probably why Islam is popular. Religion should be, theoretically, right? It should be like some spiritual guidance and some community. And there should be, the person on stage should be in service of the people that are listening. And I never felt that. The church always felt a little bit like, you're dirty. You're a dirty little boy. And I got caught picking my nose at church one time we were rehearsing for communion, and I had my finger deep in my nose, and I made eye contact with the lady who was like the CCD director. And she was upset. She was upset with me for picking my nose. But yeah, I liked it, and I also I'm like, should I get into Jesus? Is this where I should go? Should I start getting into like what he was talking about, what he was into? I did see the poor box in the back, and I said, how do I get a little piece of that? I mean, they're gonna give it to somebody. They're gonna give the money in the poor box to somebody. So like, they might as well give it to another Italian who who needs it. But they never tell you why they killed Jesus. They crucified him. They said, I think what they tried to say was like, it was because he was the son of God. No, what they tell you is that God loves you so much. This is what they tell you. They tell you God loves you so much that he sent his son to the world, and people were so bad that he had his son die to save them. Yeah, that's what they tell you. Huh. You don't go to CCD and they say like, oh, Jews killed Jesus. They don't do that.
Right. Well, everyone was Jewish, like in his little town or whatever. He was
everyone
a Jew.
was right.
So anyone who killed him would have been Jewish.
So that is kind of silly. Yeah, that's like saying women destroyed OJ. That's like saying women destroyed OJ because women destroy everyone. That's because people who get destroyed usually end up getting destroyed by a woman. But yeah, they never tell you why. But what they say is like, well, God loved the world so much that he sent his son to. I feel like this is very 2007 what we're doing. We're doing like atheism stuff.
Yeah.
But I am
Russell Brand.
No, yes, yeah. But that's not what I'm getting at. What I am getting at is that's what they tell
cowboy.
You. Yeah. I just think it's funny that the church will tell you that God love you. That's why he killed Jesus. I don't like that. Time for me to make $75,000 a week. $75,000. Yeah, why do they do that? Why do British people do that? Oh my God, what a...
Last week you looked in the camera and you said, I think I'm kind of a Christ-like figure. And that was Russell Brand's whole shtick for a while.
Oh, really?
He had the Messiah complex.
Yeah.
So he did it first, but we did it better.
I'm not a Christ-like figure that, like, it's about me. I'm a Christ-like figure in that, like, maybe the Mossad will kill me. Maybe the Mossad will crucify me. Maybe the Mossad. Maybe I'll be doing like a moving job, and the Mossad will come and they'll take a nail gun and they'll nail my fingers to wood, and they'll leave me there for a little bit, and then they'll be like, "Oh my God, it's a suicide." They'll have to go, "Oh my God, Mike committed suicide by nailing himself to a piece of plywood." Which
or they'll
I guess
do some sort of deep fake of you molesting a kid.
Yeah. You think they would go that far?
To fake a video for blackmail on someone? Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big part of why the Epstein network was allowed to collapse. Like, not because all of a sudden, like, you know, the elites saw the light and they were like, we can't have this guy around. Mm-hmm. I think it's just like, it's outdated. They don't need... It's outdated,
They
don't need to film you fucking a kid anymore.
Right.
Everything's on the internet. Everyone's entire life is on the internet.
Right,
They can
right.
hack into any camera or whatever, and they can also just hack into your search history and get blackmailed that way. You don't need to go to an island and fuck a child
Right,
anymore,
right.
you know?
Well, the problem too right now is that all of the people that we're electing are Muslim, and they don't do that. So they have to evolve, you know, because Zohran's not about that life. Zohran's a respectable Muslim who will not. You can't even do a deep fake because everyone's going to go, that's not, you know, that's not him.
Do you think that Miguel Diaz-Canel in Cuba is a dictator?
I haven't thought much about Miguel Diaz, I'll be honest with you. I think mostly about these 5 boroughs and how we can actually deliver affordability for New Yorkers.
But do you think Nicolás Maduro is a dictator in Venezuela?
I think he has done many a horrible thing.
But again, do you think it's important that you say that they are dictators and that people understand here in New York that you are not aligned with them?
I think it's
Why are they asking him about like Latin America? I don't understand that. Why did he have to go? Why did he have to go? Hey, we're the guy from Cuba and the guy from Venezuela are brutal dictators who are really oppressive. They're communist dictators. Why? Who even cares? But I think that's the thing with politics is like people are a little bit too afraid of Don't you kind of feel like at the end of the day it comes down to these little interpersonal things where people are just afraid of being not liked, so they go like, okay, yeah, fine, let me compromise on this. Because if you say, hey, Cuba's under embargo right now and those people are being treated unfairly, you'll have like Miami Cubans who are mad at you. But why can't you just be like, I don't know about Venezuela? Yeah. You know what? I can't even spell Venezuela. You ever hear of that restaurant called Arepa Lady? But I just feel like if I had a restaurant, I would not name it that. Because, you know, like, Arepa Lady. Right. Arepa Lady. Oh, my favorite is Arepa Lady. My favorite thing is... Imagine you get detained because you're like, oh, my favorite thing is to... No, you wouldn't say two, but you're like, oh, my favorite is Arepa Lady. He's so delicious. You're not really allowed to change the name of your restaurant or your podcast, but they should make an exception for Arepa Lady. They changed it to Arepa Man, Arepa Guy. Okay, what about he's on the phone. He's like, okay, what about the Arepa Guy? What about the Arepa Baby? Arepa Dog. We got them all right in that riff. We got Arepa Man, Arepa Baby, Arepa Dog. I don't know exactly how. Yeah.
You didn't get a rape a non-binary person?
Yeah, but they wouldn't call her. Spanish people ain't with that shit. Spanish people ain't really about that. Friday night, I got in a little adventure because I went to pick up a pizza, and the pizza took a long time, and Benjamin was playing with my phone, and my phone died, and so I had to it took 40 minutes to get a pizza. My phone's dead, and then I finally got the pizza, and I put Benjamin on my shoulder, and I started speed walking back home because I was like, Deb's worried about me, and then she came home and she was like, oh my God, I was so worried about you guys. I went out looking for you. I went out trying to find you, and she goes, all of these terrible scenarios were running through my head. I said, oh my God, Mike had a heart attack and he's lying on the sidewalk right now. And I go, that's the first one that you went to, huh?
Well, what's the problem with that?
Well, Mike had a heart attack. She goes, oh no, Mike had a heart attack.
Your fault because you ate too many hot dogs.
Yeah. That was the first place.
Oh, okay.
The first place that she went to.
Yeah, she should say, oh no, Mike was attacked by an immigrant.
That's what she should think. Yeah, Mike was killed in a mass shooting. Yeah. There was a mass shooting.
Okay, we'll do the Lib one and the
right, yeah.
Republican.
There was a mass shooting in Brooklyn that didn't happen in Crown Heights, and Mike was killed in it. All right. Sorry, I thought that would make you laugh.
I'm laughing.
No, it's okay. Folks, Bill Maher is back in the news. I want to say something nice about Bill Maher before we do this segment, okay? I was watching Bill Maher. I have to respect him because he's very good at like getting through people's bullshit. Anytime he has somebody on the show who's like, it's really funny. He almost does it instinctually, right? He had Dwight on from The Wire, and he was like, Dwight was like, "Oh yeah, you know, when I was living in L.A., and Bill Maher was like, "Oh right, back when you were a failing loser." Because Dwight was talking about going to therapy and being like, yeah, I felt like a failing loser. And Bill was like, well, come on, be honest, you were a failing loser. And he's like, I wasn't a failing loser. I was a struggling actor. And Bill Maher goes, yeah, but come on, that's a failing loser. I could do a lot of impressions. I can do Bill Maher, Kwame Ture, and my fourth grade teacher. Nice. Yeah. All right, here's Kwame Ture going to a lady. Now, let me ask you this. You're a lady. You're a lady and you love Venezuelan food. What if... I'm not really sure what's happening here. What if we went to a lady? What if you and I went to a lady? And you and I owned a lady together, and then we had some workers working at a lady. Anyway... Bill Maher also had Tony Hinchcliffe on his podcast, and that was fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But Tony showed up, and he really wanted to impress Bill Maher. I don't know. It's a strange world. He was like, I'm such a big fan of yours. I always watched you. We had HBO on in the house. But he tried to sort of, Tony tried to kind of make this argument where he was like, the Rogan guys he's like, yeah, me and Joe, we used to be Democrats and now we're not, and now we love Trump. And Bill Maher was like, yeah, but come on, you can't do that. You can't be a Trumper. It was good. I think it's weird that these guys are trying to make. But then he also said this thing about Nigeria, right? Because he had Nancy Mace on his podcast, and he was like, they're actually doing a genocide. He said they're actually doing a genocide in Nigeria.
I'm not a Christian, but they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria.
I'm not a Christian, okay? I just like to have sex with prostitutes.
This is so much more of a genocide attempt than what is going on in Gaza. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country. Where are the kids protesting this?
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Thank you. Because no one will talk about it, so thank you.
He said what's happening in Nigeria is much more of a genocide than what's happening in Gaza. So why aren't the college kids protesting that? Then you look into Nigeria, it's not really like this guy in Al Jazeera said it pretty good. You want to read that for me? Yeah.
Quote, one of the figures driving this propaganda is American comedian and television host Bill Maher, who used his show to deliver a sensationalized account alleging the systemic slaughter of Christians in Nigeria. His sources are largely fabricated claims and manipulated images from unverified outlets. These distorted narratives drew applause from his audience, while Fox News, true to form, amplified them.
What's happening? There's a ceasefire. Everyone's saying, "Oh, how come you leftists aren't kissing Donald Trump's ass? How come none of you are offering to, How come none of you are offering to kiss him on the lips? Which it seems like, I guess, the talking points went out or whatever. But I don't know what there really is to celebrate. Definitely nothing. I don't know if anybody really won. But if this is real and if it lasts, then doesn't that mean that all the protesting and all of the I didn't go to a ton of protests, but I did post a lot about it. So doesn't that mean that all the people who didn't want this to happen, doesn't that mean that was not in vain? I keep thinking about that. I have lots of pictures of dead children on my phone. And there was a report recently that came out that said close to 400,000 kids under 5 years old were killed. And I do have this one picture on my phone of a dead child, okay, that I don't want to forget, because all these people who were killed and maimed and the kids who were orphaned, they are individuals. And it just makes me think that if this little thing, this little ceasefire leads to some mitigation of loss of life, or even leads to some kind of lasting peace, then that kid who died will not, it means that kid's death was not for nothing. So I keep thinking about that. I keep thinking that, like, the saddest thing that can happen is that a child is killed. But if that child being killed means that other children won't get killed, hopefully it means that more children won't get killed in the future, then that does mean something. And it does mean that all this stuff wasn't for nothing. And I don't know. I guess I thought I would feel differently now that people are saying, oh, it's over. Because they're doing a prisoner exchange, and now there's no more.
Well, they got their beloved hostages.
They got their beloved hostages.
And then they immediately broke the ceasefire. So we're recording Tuesday. They already bombed and killed an entire family. I saw that this morning.
Really?
They opened fire and killed 5 Palestinians in Gaza City. Mm-hmm. There was another drone strike in Khan Yunis.
I don't want to be like, you know what? I do want to like the country that I live in, believe it or not.
I mean, how great would it be to live in a different country where I could be proud of my country?
But that's the other thing, though. I can't think of a single country that I like. Libya was good. I would imagine that, like, before they ousted Gaddafi, like, that was probably like, you could probably go to, like, a J.C. Penney in Libya and you can get one of those outfits that he wore. You could get, like, an orange robe and a cape. You could get, like, an orange robe and a green cape, and you, like, just dress like the president. Because everybody would want to be the president. I got to start dressing better.
Like
I got to start dressing like Gaddafi. Or even, like, a little bit of, I don't know, maybe even, like, a little bit of a Saddam going. Military jacket. But then people are going to think you're, like, a Curtis Sliwa person. Does he have a trans wife, by the way? Should we do this? Should we invest? Should we? Michelle, I've looked it up. I don't know, and not that I have a problem, but I feel like no one is talking about that.
What makes you think she's trans?
Because I've seen the commercials.
Okay.
And I feel like the hands and the neck and the voice.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you Google imaging her?
I'm trying to find something. Yeah.
Not that I care. I just think I just think it speaks to how impressive he is. I'm not trying to start a rumor or anything, but I'm surprised that that's not a thing people are talking about, or at least asking. I don't know. You got to hear the voice. Can you play the voice?
Yeah, I can.
Let's see if we can find the voice. We're doing Transvestigating, but in a woke way.
See, it's a lot of him talking and not a lot of her talking. Let me try to.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because of all the bass in her voice.
They tell us New York is safe, but women know better. Rapes are up 40%. Felony assaults are at an all-time high. Domestic violence is driving mothers and their children into shelters. Every day, women risk harassment and assault.
We're not being transphobic. We're saying we hope that she is trans, because then we'll vote for a real progressive over Zohran, who's a fake progressive, who doesn't even have a trans wife. And we're not transvestigating. We kind of are. But we're doing it in a woke way. Your wife has to show us her medical records. I'm just surprised no one's talking about that. But I feel like if I tweet it, I'm so shadow banned that no one would care, and then I'd be embarrassed. That's my life on Twitter these days. I tweet something and then it doesn't do well, and I go, "Oh, I stink.
Well,
I stink now."
Do you think you're shadow banned, or do you think you stink?
I think a little bit of both.
Because
Because a lot of people think that they're brilliant.
Yeah.
And that the quote unquote
the algorithm is censoring them. I know.
But if the people just heard what they had to say, it'd be too powerful.
I know. So here's the other thing too. You know how you go, oh, United States foreign policy is like it's usually that, and it feels lazy. It feels lazy to be like U.S. bad. But I'm saying for me, I feel like Hamas good is always the conclusion, and I don't want to be that way. I don't want to have blind allegiance to this extremely cool group of guys. I would love to find a thing that I didn't like about these guys, but so far it's been all positives. And then I'm seeing that they're doing public executions. I mean, that's good. I thought the American right was for that. I thought we like public executions. And who are they executing? They're executing traitors.
Is it not a public execution when they drone strike an entire building and families
100%. 100%. It's war. What is... I mean, I don't understand how every boomer that you talk to will say, well, it's war. People die in war. It's a tragedy. Yeah, you know what else happens in war? We execute the traitors. We execute the collaborators. My kid is walking across the floor and he's pretending he's a ghost, I guess. I guess he's like a ghost dog and he's being, yeah. You guys really get everything on this show, don't you? You get jokes, you get political commentary, and you get my naked son off camera. You get to imagine my naked son. I mean, they should be able to. I mean, let them do a little bit of war crimes, but let them do a little bit. Is what I'm saying.
Well, but that's how Israel started.
Right.
The Jews were the victims of war crimes, and then they were like, "No, we do." Decades from now, Hamas is going to have its own UN recognized.
Well,
nation.
That is right.
Okay, come on, silly goose. We gotta hurry. Oh, sorry. You're crashing into the high chair. Pay attention.
Benjamin, you need Islam. We're going to the mosque. We're going to put a hijab on you. We're going to double up your hijab just in case you take one off and need to expose yourself. All right.
He might love a hijab because he likes being a ghost.
He might like a hijab because he likes being a ghost, yeah. A white hijab. Do anybody transition and they go like, I'm going to transition from like a regular guy to like a Muslim woman? That seems, to me, that would be like the easiest way to transition, I think, right? I want to talk about Peter Thiel a little bit. The only thing that I really know about him is that he threw his boyfriend off a balcony, or he had somebody throw his boyfriend off a balcony, right. Which, like, I mean, who hasn't been there? He seems to be somebody that everybody's talking about. I know that he founded PayPal with Elon.
He was a part of like the original founding group. He was the first outside investor into Facebook.
Okay, so he's like a tech guy.
I would say he's a VC guy that's invested a lot into tech. I mean, really, he's the surveillance state guy. Mm-hmm. So if you look at all the companies that he had a major role in, right? Facebook. That's the beginning of us putting our personal lives on the internet. Mm-hmm. All that data.
Mm-hmm. That's data. So I just made a quiche is data? I guess it is.
Well, the location that you're doing it from, your private messages, what the inside of your house looks like, what your face looks like.
But then what do they sell you after that? After you say,
well, I don't think it's all about selling you stuff. That's the kind of like mid-brain read. That's the mainstream read that like it's all just to sell you more targeted advertising.
Oh, okay.
And it is. Okay. By the way, it also is doing that.
Yes.
But the thing that I think is more interesting is that this is all stuff that the state can use against you.
This is all so annoying. It's like, can't I just go to a George Floyd protest because everybody else was doing it? Now you're gonna remember that. Can I just publicly say on my podcast George Floyd was a great man, and I don't care what he did in his past, and I watched his sex tape and I thought it was really good. So what? They're gonna compile that and then they're gonna use it against me? That's so annoying. But I guess it's weird because the way I think of these people are so powerful. They have so much money, but they're not. But then, because I listened to him on Rogan today, and him and Joe Rogan were talking about like real estate prices and how like they bought their house, and Teal hasn't had that much luck with real estate, and they bought their house at this much, but then the market came down, and I'm like, are you guys going to talk about like how Chipotle is too expensive? Like why are you being so?
Yeah, the reason that the big oligarchs go on shows like Rogan is to launder their reputation. To like, they'll talk about anything but what they do. It's like your landlord like coming to your house and being like, the rent's fucking high in this neighborhood, guys, isn't it? This is horrible.
He's like, that single mother downstairs is driving me crazy. Oh man, she's not a good tenant like you guys. She is a lot. She's a handful. Yeah, she's always punching holes in the wall, getting soup everywhere. You're like, how do you know what's in her kitchen? How do you know what she's doing in her kitchen? I also thought it was funny. At one point in the show, Joe Rogan asked him, he goes, well, if you were in charge of the world, he goes, if you were in charge of the world, how would you fix everything?
He goes, oh, no, Joe, I am in charge of the world. And what I'm doing is creating a digital border wall along our southern border with high-tech cameras and drones. And what else I'm doing? I'm making a facial recognition database for the feds to access called Clearview AI.
And now all this stuff is like contracted from the government, and that's why they...
Huge government contractors. Palantir's first and only client for many years was the CIA. And now they've been branching out. They're basically data analytics software. It's like surveillance as a service.
Okay.
You know? So who would want that more than the feds, FBI, CPB, IRS, CIA? Like all these agencies are huge Palantir customers.
Okay.
Because who needs to make sense of their data more than intelligence agencies? They have a lot of private clients too, private sector clients. But yeah, it did all start with the government, to answer your question.
Well, no, tell me, because he goes, what would you do if you were in charge? And he goes, well, I think I would probably. He didn't say anything that I haven't heard really rich people say before. He said, I think I would probably shrink the government, and I would probably do more means testing for things like Social Security and
these people want to shrink the government, and they are, by the way.
Yeah.
They're shrinking the public sector so that they can replace them.
And they want to steal from old people. Not that I really like old people. And do they ever think to themselves like, I'm evil, or do they kind of like do they just go like, oh, well, why not? Oh, I have 800. It's like having $8 in your pocket when you need and you're like, oh, I could maybe turn that into 18. Do you ever go to the grocery store and like apple juice is on sale and they have apple juice like 2 for $4, and then you have like a little extra money and you like buy all of the apple juice, and you're like, well, I might as well do it because nobody else is here. Is there a little bit of that where it's like nobody stops these people from doing this stuff? All I know is that he thinks we should steal money from old people.
Yeah, I mean that's classic rich guy stuff. They want to drain all those public programs and move it into private contracts. But the like crazy version of that's kind of newer, because that's like classic Republican stuff. But the crazy version of that's kind of newer is that they're trying to like outsource a lot of decision making to AI.
Okay.
Like from humans to AI. It's like, oh, they're gonna do it so much better. They'll have so much data. But like AI doesn't exist. Like there's no actual artificial intelligence. It's stuff programmed by people. And who are those people? Coincidentally, it's them.
Yeah.
So they want to basically like take over all of these government functions. And I'm speaking in broad strokes, but like this stuff does exist. It is happening. But you kind of do sound crazy when you talk about it.
Yeah.
But they do. They want to outsource government decision making to AI. Like they're all talking about it. Musk, Teal, the whole like dark MAGA government group.
And do you feel better that you know this stuff, or do you ever kind of like regret? Because this is stuff that I haven't even really looked into or thought about.
Yeah, maybe I'm hijacking the show a little bit.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. But I've been too busy thinking about like sniper rifles and stuff. I've been too busy thinking about like the civil war that we might have to fight.
Oh, you mean you personally want to buy a sniper rifle?
No, but I've been thinking about. Most of my energy has been spent paying attention to like the Gaza genocide and not this other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, but unfortunately, it is all part of the same thing. These are the people driving that. You know.
Now, are they going to start killing us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I am one with the people of Gaza, so I consider them to be killing me right now.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, me too.
There's no line between, But the question you're asking, like, these weapons of war do always come home. Like, yeah, that's also true.
It's annoying because you're like, it doesn't have to be this way.
But it is already happening here. I mean, like, I guess if you wanted to be really annoying about it, you would say like, oh, they're already bringing it here because they use that stuff on immigrants now.
Well, theoretically it shouldn't be profitable to like go to like a farm and start arresting people. I'm just trying to connect the dots.
I mean, I think it's the same question as like, why is there a lot of war? Because it's profitable. Like you're right. It doesn't help you or me. It doesn't help me when they're sweeping up immigrants or whatever. It doesn't help me when we're bombing people overseas, but it is helping the military contractors, and the modern version of that is it's helping companies like Anduril, one of Teal's companies, one of the main contractors for building these autonomous surveillance towers on the southern border.
And Anduril, that was Gandalf's. No, I think Anduril was Aragorn's sword.
I don't know any of the words you're saying.
Oh, okay. So I think Glamdring was Gandalf the wizard. His sword was called Glamdring. Frodo's sword was called Sting. And Aragorn's sword was called Anduril.
Remember when, what's that guy's name? Not Andrew Cuomo, the brother. Chris Cuomo?
Chris, yeah.
Chris Cuomo. There's a video of him getting really upset because someone called him Frodo on the street.
Fredo?
Oh, Fredo.
Yeah. No, I guess he is Frodo, too. Actually, that's how I would heckle him. I go, you're Frodo. I meant to say Fredo, but you're also Frodo kind of when you think about it. But yeah, he got upset. That guy's one of the most pathetic people, I think, alive.
Chris Cuomo?
I have a special dislike. I can't figure out what it is.
The only thing I know about him is that he, like, during COVID, he, like, did the show from his basement.
Yeah.
And then did, like, a dramatic emerging from the basement.
Yeah.
Quote-unquote got better.
I know. There's something about Italians who like Israel. I have a special kind of, like, contempt for those kind of guys.
Were you always anti-Zionist, or did you, like, kind of grow into that?
No, I guess in high school they teach you about Israel and how cool they are. And I remember always wanting to like.
In New Jersey?
Yeah. My history teacher told us that Israel is Mr. Miyagi because he's little but he's dangerous. I'm owed an apology. I should get reparations. I should sue my school to get reparations.
What are the damages that you're suing for?
For making me stupid.
Okay. Yeah.
For making me
unlimited. Yeah. You could have so much more income.
Well, I've lost wages. Yeah, for being dumb. Because I didn't really start reading books till I was like 35. So basically, I had like you? 38. So I had like 15 years of lost wages because some idiot told me that Israel is Mr. Miyagi. Yeah. Anyway, what's good in the world? Let's leave people with something, let's leave people with something positive. What's good? I joined a new gym. So, that's good. Moisturizing your face, that's good. Having a good skincare routine, taking care of your skin. And, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is really funny. It's a really funny show. And I'm going to go with, I had a nice Honeycrisp apple today.
These are a few of my favorite.
Yeah. I had a nice Honeycrisp apple. And that was good. My friend's mom gave it to me. Me and Michelle did a moving job today. Well, I did a small moving job, and then she came with me. Yeah. And she got to see me in action. Yeah. And I think I was okay. See, it's funny with Bezos, right? Because if you ask somebody, what does Jeff Bezos do? You'd say, oh, well, when I need potholders, I push a button and they're at my house in 2 days.
Right, and when I need someone to waste tax money and go into space,
he pushes a button.
Sure, but
that.
he does kind of like provide a service. You know, there's Amazon Prime, and then there's Twitch where you can watch Hasan Piker torture his dog, if you're into that kind of stuff. You know, because they're owned by Amazon, right? So you kind of I kind of understand Jeff Bezos being like an overlord. Then you go like, okay, what does Elon Musk do? Well, okay, but he does have Tesla. He has the cars that people like to drive, and then he does Neuralink, so they're going to put chips in your brain so you can talk to so you won't have to push buttons on your phone. You can just think about the text that you want to send, and that appears on your phone. That's at least something. Right? And then SpaceX is like a company, like it has to do with space. So like they gutted NASA, they executed everybody that works at NASA, and they're all mostly Nazis anyway, so it's fine. So we just went from NASA to SpaceX, which is like a private company. But then you're like, what does Peter Thiel do? Or no, and then you're like, what does Lori Greiner do? Well, she owns QVC. So like when your mom is depressed, when she needs to buy some crap, you know, she orders it off QVC. And then what does Damon John do? Well, he founded like FUBU or something. And then Mark Cuban, okay, he owns the Dallas Mavericks. But then you go, what does Peter Thiel do? And you're like, he kills people and he locks up people who work at Walmart. And then he's also friends with Joe Rogan, so he's also kind of ruining comedy. Yeah. He's also making comedy like much worse. So yeah, just interesting. We're almost done. One more minute, yeah.
Okay. We're waiting, Benny.
The last thing I want to say is R.I.P. D'Angelo. He passed away, and that's a bummer. He was born in 1974, so that means what? He's in like his late 40s, early 50s.
Oh damn.
How does a guy that's that ripped pass away? I just know that he made that music video where he was naked, and no one ever did that before. And that is a fun song. And I was never a guy who could make love to music. Like the music always kind of took me out of it. You know, I never felt like it was like my thing. But I guess some guys do that. I guess some guys like put on a Bluetooth speaker when they want to have sex with their wife. And they get into the rhythm of the song. Which that was never me. That always would make me go soft. He also did that other song that's like, "You're my lady." You ever hear that song? "You're my lady." So, these guys die too young. I was watching It's Always Sunny last night. Lance Reddick, he passed away. He was probably in his 50s. What's with that? Someone's got to look into this. Passed away. We got to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, well, rumor has it he was going through a spiritual transformation and he was going to distance himself from the state of Israel.
I
think in the end, Charlie was going through a spiritual transformation. I don't think it. I know it. He was going through a lot, and there was a lot of pressure.
Or Scientology. That'd be so annoying if he was a Scientologist, but they only eliminate the African American actors and celebrities. I don't know. We should look into this because this is too. That could be a whole episode that we could investigate why these guys are dropping off so young.
So we need to investigate if Curtis Sliwa's wife is a man.
Yes. Next week, join us next week. Me and Michelle are going to put on our detective hats, and we are going to get down to the bottom. We're going to solve the mystery of Curtis Sliwa's wife and the mystery of why these guys. Yeah, we're pretty much done, buddy. You can come out. Yeah, come on out. Yeah. You do? You just had French fries. All right, folks. Patreon.com/Recine time so I can buy my wife more food. Patreon.com so we can buy Deborah more food. Okay. Thanks for listening.
That's right. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Sonny, you want to talk on this microphone?
I want to show you guys my skateboard.
Oh, it's very nice. It's very nice. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on Patreon or next week. Take care. Bye-bye.